Show. Welcome to the Dealbreakers Show.
Hey beautiful people!
How's everybody doing? My name is Charles.
And I'm Leanna.
And welcome to the Dealbreakers Show.
Today we're going to talk about 8 things that you should discuss with your partner prior to marriage.
Yes, prior.
Important conversations.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
The first thing we're going to talk about is how you cope with anger. The reason why this is something you should talk about is because you need to know how your significant other is going to respond to intense conversations, whether it's yelling or lashing out and things like that.
So obviously, being in a marriage, like, things get kind of heated sometimes.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you basically need to know what you're gonna expect when your partner is angry, because in a marriage, I'm telling you, your spouse will definitely test you.
Yes.
And just being able to navigate those feelings of anger is very important. Just knowing if your spouse launches stuff across the room. They throw stuff, they're angry, they're aggressive, they get physical, or they just need to leave the house and go for a drive. Just knowing how to cope with anger is very important.
Yeah.
And if you're not married yet and your spouse is someone that gets angry, they should definitely seek therapy prior to
Making that commitment.
Definitely. So the second conversation that you should discuss is finances.
Finances, yes.
So the biggest thing about finances, you want to talk about your debt. I mean, in the era of student loans, a lot of people, bring debt to the table. So just understanding debt, how much debt, and what is your plan for paying off that debt. And also, if anyone brings any like assets to the table, maybe they have like some big inheritance or whatever, and how, they're choosing to go about that. Like, will it be considered yours? Are they going to keep it for themselves?
Yeah.
Another big thing is just understanding your financial future. Is your spouse somebody that plans to take care of their mother for the rest of their life? How would that impact the family that you guys are planning on having? And also, just the boundaries and limitations on giving money to family members.
Most definitely. The next conversation that you should have is your 5 to 10 year life plan, especially when you're talking about settling down. Where to settle down? Do you plan on buying a house and things like that?
And also, like, what's your career progression look like? Do you plan on going back to school, and how would that affect you or your partner? And also just understanding, like, okay, do you plan on traveling the world prior to settling down? And the next one that we're going to go into, ties into this, is family planning.
Yes.
Do you plan on having kids?
That's a big one.
Do you not want to have any kids?
That's a big one.
Are both of you fertile? Is someone infertile? That's definitely something that you want to discuss. And also, are you open to adopting? Sometimes people come into a relationship with their tubes tied already, and they don't tell anyone. So family planning is a big thing because it's ultimately a deal breaker. If you don't want to have kids, you let the person know up front.
Exactly.
Don't wait till they're 5 years in the marriage and then you drop this bomb like,
I don't want to have kids.
It's selfish.
Exactly.
So
another conversation that you should have, and this is very important, is your religion. If you are of a different belief, this is important when it comes to your household, especially, which also will play a role into how you raise your family. What do you want your child to practice? How does that conflict with your lifestyle? And it becomes a divide. So these are conversations that you definitely want to make sure that you're having.
So you want to make sure you're equally yoked.
Yes.
So, because if not, that can definitely create tension in the marriage. If one person is an avid churchgoer that loves God and the other person could care less about God. The next conversation will be gender roles expectations.
Yes, expectations.
So this is a big one also. Just understanding, like, okay, are we gonna split the bills? Just thinking about, okay, you're gonna be my husband and I'm your wife. What does that actually look like? What is the expectation that you place on me as your wife? Do you expect me to be a housewife and not go to work, or
do you expect me to be the husband who you know, takes out the trash all the time and do the yard
and just spends money on you all day.
Exactly.
But if you want to know more about gender roles, just click the link right here. Check out our last video. And yeah.
The other conversation, and this is a very, very big one, is sexual compatibility. This is another crucial conversation you need to have, especially when you have one individual who has a high sex drive and the other one is kind of like, we can have it when we have it. I'll let you take it.
So just understanding each other's, like how you would like to be touched, and also understanding if your partner has any sexual traumas from past experiences, whether it's, you know, adult experiences or when they were a child. Also understanding if that person is willing to try new things, like swinging from the shower rod, or you know, being tied up, or whatever. And also some people invite other people into their marriage, to each his own, but if that's your cup of tea, you need to
discuss it. Make sure that you have that understanding.
You need to talk about that with your partner, because those things are definitely deal breakers. And if somebody has a super high sex drive and you cannot keep up, you better get to the dough, or you start taking some pills or something. So the next and last one is the boundaries when it comes to opposite sex.
Yes, because you might have a significant other who don't want you hugging other women or hugging other men, or people that you don't know.
But like, for example, for me, like, out of respect for my husband, I don't hug other men. I just don't do it.
Only that, hugging other men who are married or hugging other women who are married, you don't know how their, you know, significant other is going to be looking at that as well.
And then with that being said, also, like, you know, for some couples who may have experienced infidelity, if you as a woman is going up and hugging another woman's husband,
as fine as my wife, then they might be looking at you like,
so, and just, you know, discussing those boundaries with your significant other, because some people have some insecurities.
So understanding that you must have these conversations, not only so you can get to know your significant other, but also so they can get to know you, and y'all can both understand each other's boundaries and deal breakers.
Yeah, and biggest thing, like they were saying, deal breakers, if these things are not discussed prior to marriage, they will definitely come up, and they will actually it will be a source of tension in your marriage. So just make sure you actually have these conversations. So yes, it's very important to have these conversations, but the biggest thing is to remember that
love is a commitment, it is not a feeling.
Yes, so put your all into it. Both of you need to be fully committed, or else it won't work.
Yeah, and understanding the person that you're with helps with that commitment.
The biggest thing is that you both have to be all in. You both have to decide to commit. That no matter what, like, you're gonna tough everything out and just, you know, choose to commit. Because the feelings day by day will change. But it's a commitment that will stay the same. So. Alright, well, thank you guys for tuning in. And let us know in the comments what you thought about this video. And stay tuned, not next week, but the week after, for our next video.